Good morning, boys and girls. On today's adventure, I'm coming to you from Rippon Lodge, historical home. As you can see it in the background there. Come along inside. I'll give you a little tour. All right, we're in the home. We're in the home now of the Rippon Lodge, and I got one of the tour guides going to give us a little information about the home.
Well, Rippon Lodge was built in 1747, and the section we're in right now, this was an addition added by Thomas Blackburn around 1800, and he's the son of the original owner, Richard Blackburn. The display today is for our World War II Days weekend, which is one of our free events that we have throughout the year, and the tie to World War II rests with our last owner, Richard Blackburn Black, who was in the Navy and stationed at Pearl City when Pearl Harbor was attacked on December 7th, 1941. And he also, of course, was activated and served in the Pacific Theater for a few years. So every year we host this event. The house is decorated with historic memorabilia, as well as uniforms and ladies' costumes and other things. And it's our pleasure to host this every year. Our reenactor groups are just wonderful, and we couldn't do it without them.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now I'll continue my tour here of the house and show you all the memorabilia laying around. It's a beautiful home. And we got some glare coming in. Some original newspapers from the war. Beautiful fireplace. Original World War II uniform. Beautiful grandfather clock. Another piano. Dining room table. This is the original house before they expanded it. U.S. newspapers, and we're going to war. Our commander-in-chief at the time, FDR. World War I uniform. Life magazine from the war. There's some pictures on the wall of when they built the house and when they improved it. Now we're coming into one of the bedrooms on the top floor. Nice dresser, fireplace, picture of George and Martha Washington.
Okay, so this in the 1800s would have been an open loft. There were no windows here. These were added in the 1920s, as were the bedrooms. So what we have here is the original structure of the house on this side with the original, you can see here, we call this an architectural ghost. This is the where the original staircase would have landed. You would have come up the stairs, and this would have been an exterior wall. In the year 1800, we built, or Thomas builds the addition and a little bit grander staircase. But in here we have, these are the bathrooms that were added in the 1920s. The county has pulled them out. They're not historically relevant. But what we have left here is the county has left us an opening so we can see the interior of the house. And we have, you can see inside the chimney, and what I'm looking at right here is a snake skin. So we have a snake that is living here. So that's a little bit
and rent free.
Yeah. I'm surprised. So anyway, we have this is the remnants of the old electrical system, 1920s. 1920s plaster, or on the backside of the plaster. And what's interesting is that, as we understand it, Mr. Ellis in the 1920s sourced older pieces of wood from older houses that were being torn down as building materials for his renovations in his house. But you can see here. Again, would have been 1920s and probably later on have been renovated, as this house was occupied as a private home until the 1990s. But you can see these are original beams, and these were carved out of wood right out here on the property. This one here is a tree. You can see it here, and it's still got the bark on it. Yeah, and here's some building tools that you would have used while building a house like this. Okay, so this is an interesting room. Are you recording?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is an interesting room. So Mr. Ellis, he and his wife built this to be their master bedroom. This was his summer home, and so he wanted a nice a nice master bedroom when he came down for the summer. Now it has a great view of the Potomac, and of course this is why he put his bedroom here on this end of the house. Now he liked to tell stories, so he always told his friends that this was the Washington bedroom, because we know that George has come here. He writes in his journals that he's come here. He came to stay with the Blackburns. He came to dine with the Blackburns. But Mr. Ellis says that this was his bedroom. But we know it's probably not right, because the Blackburns surely wouldn't have sent George up here, up the little staircase in this low, ceilinged, dark sleeping loft. This is where the kids slept. This is very grand now, but back in those days it was probably not. It was probably cold in the winter and hot in the summer. So maybe when George came to stay, he stayed somewhere else, maybe a little nicer. But Mr. Ellis liked to say this was the Washington bedroom. And here's a little more about it here.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
So on Friday evening, we had around 11:30 at night, we had some really hard rain, and this happened. A huge limb broke off this tree and smashed right on the house. Got a little bit of damage, but not too much. The porch there was extended in the 1920s. Now we're in the back of the house. Over here's the garden. A lot of flowers and vegetables. Tomatoes are looking good. The little bell tower. Now we're coming out of this little walkway. And to my right here, the path that leads down to the cemetery. Then down that way is the amphitheater. All right, the reason I came to Rippon Lodge today, they're having a World War II weekend, so I'm gonna walk around to all the camps here and give you a little tour. Okay, right now I'm in the German camp, and here's one of the Germans. He's going to tell us who he is and what he's representing.
Hello, I'm Alex Eisenberg. On the field, I'm known as Gunther. Right now, I'm a German Wehrmacht. My weapon, my K98, fires very well used on the field. This is our camp.
Okay, can you give us a little history of your weapons here?
What we have on the rack here is we have a Panzerfaust right here. And this gentleman could probably tell you more about this camp.
All right.
My portray is a Panzer Grenadier with the 116th Panzer Division, and we have here we have the kind of first versions of the Panzerfaust that came out. They ended up calling it Klein, 30-meter range. Later on, they said, well, we need it bigger and more range, so they went with the 60-meter. And then they had, I think they also had a 100-meter one.
All right.
This is the French MAS 36. Germans captured quite a few of them from the French upon their capitulation. The French were in the middle of changing over to this from the Lebels. So 5-round bolt action rifle. The G43, the German semi-automatic rifle inspired by the Russian SVT. And they also got several German standard bolt action K98Ks. We got an assortment of hand grenades, stick grenades in various paint schemes. Later in the war, they went to the fuse being on top instead of on the bottom. It saved the effort of having to drill a hole. You take a stick grenade, tie a bunch of heads around it, and you got yourself a satchel charge.
All right.
Fragmentation sleeve for a stick grenade. And actually, the egg grenade was actually a little more common. They produced about 10% more egg grenades than they did the stick grenades. But you don't see them very often. Got assortment of other stuff. Got a med kit for my truck that I'm working on. Backpack radio, gas can. Got my assault frame. Got a smoke grenade. Got the ridges so you can tell in the dark. Map case. Rifle cleaning kit. Flashlight. Got my P38 in the holster. Canteen. Mess kit. Esbit stove. Yeah, people refer to it as a butter dish. But
right.
They had other spreads in it. Knife, fork and spoon. That's pretty much that there.
All right. Thanks a lot.
And actually, a lot of them were SS units, especially in Estonia. There's SS divisions formed from Estonian citizens or whatever. And it also being too big. They moved all their factories up north.
I'll walk back up there when you finish talking and take you guys. But
We'll be around.
Luck in your education.
My name is Michael Wolf. I'm doing infantryman for the German IR-226.
Oh, I'm Katie, and I'm a German nurse.
Okay. Can you give us a little spiel about what your equipment has on the table?
So this is everything that a German nurse would use. So we have the manuals, so we have more of an anatomy book and then more of just a bandage manual. And then we also have the medicines, how they marked soldiers with what injuries they had. And then this is some of the gauze and bandages and all. And then this is a kit that they would carry, and it has these scissors and this in there. And then we have some letters of from an actual German nurse that have pictures in them actually.
That's very nice. Okay. And we got 2 World War II Jeeps up here. Got a little walk around here.
Anna is,
Yeah, great. Bag is fine and good. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today.
yeah, and he died once.
And did you drive it? You drove?
No, there's not a lot of traffic this morning. Really? I'll get more honks and stuff on the way back in the afternoon. When everybody's out and about.
Rifle scabbard. Keep the rifle in there.
Yes, it's a 43.
So,
Radios and ammo cans.
So at this point, not a lot. But it came, when I originally bought it in '94, every it was functioning. The guy was selling it, wanted a Jeep to roll around in the desert in California. He realized that this had historical value and somebody might want to restore it.
it's gorgeous.
But all the brackets and stuff.
Oh, I mean, ration
that come off of
cans.
it were off, and so I had to find all that stuff. But the engine and everything was, pretty much like it was supposed to, so I didn't have to.
Who you are and what you're portraying.
So we are from 2nd Battalion of the 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment and as the 101st Airborne. And we're here set up today. Now, our mission on D-Day was to secure Causeway number 2 coming from Utah Beach and the town of Sainte Marie du Mont, which had a German garrison there. We were tasked to destroy that garrison. What actually happened on D-Day was that our planes that were carrying us from the 9th Troop Carrier Command of the United States Army Air Forces, they got scattered because of both cloud banks and of German anti-aircraft fire. They put us miles off of our drop zone, and we ended up having about 90% of the company not together on D-Day. And so we had to take out a number of artillery pieces at Breakcourt Manor, 105 millimeter cannons that were aimed at Utah Beach. And the Easy Company did that on D-Day.
Okay. Okay, appreciate it. I'm gonna take a look at the equipment in here.
Of course. So what we have here, we'll start with this. We have, it's called the Griswold Bag, named after the designer. What you have here is an aerial delivery container for a rifle, M1 rifle. It's
Okay.
all in there, 3 pieces. You have your stock, your receiver and barrel, and then your trigger group. Now, the design was great to be able to have something that could carry your rifle into combat attached to your parachute harness, but it meant you had to put your rifle together in the dark and under fire.
Right.
So after D-Day, they kind of decided to not go with this design any longer. Guys either jump out, add fabric to it so it stood about this tall, and you could put the fully assembled rifle in, and they'd either jump it like that. Most guys jumped it just without the thing in between their belly band and their reserve parachute. Second thing we have here, yeah, you got that back?
So we have the this is an aerial delivery container filled with different things, and the way you know what things are in it are by these beacon lights that are tied onto the crate here. This is where your parachute would connect, so they would push it out of the plane, your supplies would come in, and based on the color of the light that's on it, you would know what supplies, whether it be medical, food, ammo. So you would have, this is your amber light, you would have red lights, blue lights, green lights, and depending on that color, you know which one's more important to go to first. Yes. So yeah, this is a mock-up. I would not be able to pick this up like this, but
full up with the supplies could weigh in excess of 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Depending on the supply. If it was ammunition, it probably weighed over 100. Yeah. And parachuting in is just a means to get to the battlefield. Doesn't mean we're any more special than the infantry, although we like to think so. Yeah. But once you're on the ground, you are.
I want everyone in this. I want everybody in this.
No, I'm holding up the show.
It's all right, Madonna.
I'm sorry, Jim. Don't yell at me.
All right.
All right, somebody get his collar for me. Now, is anybody here military? Grew up military?
No, military brat.
All right, this was my camp for the weekend. We're doing USMC, Marine Corps, South Pacific. There's my machine gun. Got a couple hand grenades. We captured a Japanese flag. It's the backpack, shelter half, poncho that the Marines would have used. Helmet, coconut, and the damn rats are getting into our food here. And that guy there, he didn't make it. Mess kit, canteen cup. That's a Marmite. That's for storing cold and hot food or drinks, whatever.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a very physical taxing.
It is. I mean, you know, going through boot camp, it was a tough.
So that probably obviously
It was
the
a tough
survival of the fittest.
course. Exactly.
Yeah.
So either you made it or you didn't make
Yeah.
it. And those that made it, shipped overseas. Shipped overseas. So, you know, trial by fire.
All right, here we got a bunch of reenactors eating chow.
But what do you need?
Go figure.
What do you need to fix your rice stuff in his face for?
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that anytime.
And here's some old guy we picked up. We felt sorry for him, so we gave him something to eat.
My tax dollars at work.
I have a token army guy who showed up.